I want to share with you what I think are the best analytics tools for Bootstrapped SaaS founders as of January 2026. Now, for background purposes, and my friends and colleagues for the most part think I'm pretty much obsessed with analytics, and they're probably right, but I'm a huge fan of data-driven decision making. So the more context I can get about my users, my customers, I'm also a huge fan, obviously, of user research and all that kind of stuff. So yes, the good news is I have tested a lot of the analytics tools, so you don't have to. I can give you basically what I believe is a short list of giving yourself a pretty comprehensive package without doing a ton of admin work and setup. Plus, keeping costs relatively low, because as I mentioned before, if you're anything like me and you're a bootstrapped founder, you want to try to do so. You want to try to grow your SaaS product as cost effectively as you can as possible, especially in the beginning. Okay, so the first one I want to talk about is engagement. When I say engagement, I mean user engagement, tracking what your users are doing in your application. So my favorite for this these days is called PostHog. Now, PostHog has just about everything you need, and what I love about them is they're constantly adding cool new features and functionality, which can provide even more value. One of my favorite things that they do is if you set up the tool in a particular way, you can actually track the user sessions, so recorded sessions with your application by user account, which makes it really easy to track performance and do troubleshooting and all that kind of other cool stuff. So they have all the other goodies that you would want to, see and information you want to know about who's doing what and what active usage looks like and heat maps and all that other kind of good stuff. But they do cool things like that as well too, which I think add just an additional layer of value. And again, very cost effective. Each of these tools that I'm mentioning can either be used for free, have a free tier, or have a free trial. The second one, and this one I refer to kind of as the watchdog, right? You need someone to keep an eye on things from a performance and a security perspective to make sure that you're not introducing vulnerabilities, that your application is not creating a ton of errors, that your users are not having a poor experience, or any of those types of things are going on with your application. And for that, I recommend Sentry. I think Sentry is kind of the gold standard here. Again, there are numerous options, but this is one that I've used over and over again. And in fact, I have both of these tools, PostHog and Sentry, kind of deployed across my suite of SaaS applications that I'm managing and growing at the moment. One of the things I love about Sentry is it sends me a regular report. For those that I haven't been watching probably closely enough, which is entirely on me, they send me a report, and that report shows me which of the various applications and how I have them configured are reporting errors, warnings, any of those types of things. So I can dive deeper into that if it shows up in my report and I wasn't aware of it, or users didn't report it. That's another key point. Sometimes your users won't report some things that's going wrong with your application. So you need to be a little bit more proactive about that. And if you get sometimes distracted like I can with all these cool new things in AI and playing with all these toys, it's nice to have a watchdog in place, so to speak, who's sending you reports and keeping an eye on that for you. Okay. Now, when it comes to closing the gap for just about anything else, love those two tools. For the most part, that gives you a pretty solid stack. But if you are looking for more, and especially if you're looking for something more custom, this one I love and is made possible due to the capabilities of agentic development or AI coding these days. And that is, it's DIY. You could pretty much build whatever you want because AI can do so for you faster and more cost effectively than ever. And I've been doing this stuff myself and I'm loving it. It is awesome. I've built a couple of SaaS applications most recently, and I wanted more customizable elements into the tracking that I wanted to do, whether it's tables, dashboards, tracking, God view, whatever it is you want, you can create it because it's custom, right? You can basically have it do whatever it is you want. And that's exactly what I've been doing. And it's been awesome. So I've been adding to it as I go along, as I think about, and it would really great to be able to see this or see who signed up for what or track different stages of the process. And I've been able to do that because of AI. So that's been really great also. And I basically just build that right into my application. So log in, I've got a dashboard, or I've got something that's user permission to me as an admin or whatever, so I can see exactly what I want. Okay, so to recap, for engagement, tracking what your users are doing, PostHog is my favorite. For the watchdog, keeping an eye on performance and or security, I love Sentry. That is a great option. And both of those tools give you, for the most part, really great stack to start out with. But if you want more, and especially if you want to do something custom, I highly recommend basically like DIYing it, basically just building it yourself using AI. That's what I've been doing, and I'm getting a ton of value out of it. Okay, how do you apply what I've shared with you here. What I would say is if you don't have either Postdoc or Sentry or something like that set up for your application currently, go get either or both. Install them. It's relatively quick, pretty easy, and you can start using it pretty much immediately. Start using it and see whether or not you're getting value out of it. The question I would ask yourself is, are you learning new things based on what these tools are doing for you? If you are, that's providing value, and you should keep going with it and look to see what you can do to go even further to get more value to help improve the performance of what it is you're trying to do with your SaaS application. And my ask of you is to like, comment, or subscribe if you found value out of this content because it helps me make the content even better.